Hi, welcome back to my channel, and we're moving right out of Snatcherweed into Movember. And today I'm going to do a tribute to bearded drag queens, and I'm going to talk about facial hair while we're at it, okay? So it's a little bit of dermatology and drag series sneaking back in. Okay, so if that's something you want to see, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and ring that bell for post notifications. Alright, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so for today's bearded look, I was gonna do a Snatch Wonder look, but I thought that would be a bit too on the nose. So I'm gonna do a tribute to Madame Madness instead. She's on Drag Race Holland. She was one of the bearded queens on Drag Race Holland and probably the first in the franchise. Okay, there have been bearded queens before. Okay, there was one in Camp Wanakiki, Diana Fire, but Madame Madness her makeup skills was really amazing, okay? But she did have a bit of controversy when she was cast on Drag Race Holland, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, I'm just going to prime my skin now with my Milk HYDROGRIP. Okay, and today I also put my face tapes a little bit angled upwards, okay, so everything's going to be snatched that way. And you know, when you snatch your eyebrows, snatch your eyes, and you got a beard to snatch everything even further, that might look pretty good. Okay, let's try a different color today. So today I'm going to use my MEHRON in Warm Honey. Never used this shade before, brand new. Trying some different complexion colors. Sticking the white for the highlight. Okay, so facial hair. Humans are one of the few mammals that actually has facial hair, okay? When we ask why do we have facial hair, I think it's very difficult to answer that question. If you're talking about evolution, about hair on mammals, everything's a guess because, you know, we can only guess why we've evolved to just have hair on our heads and some people on our face. I mean, I'm a hairless wonder. I cannot grow a beard. I can barely grow a mustache. Okay, I don't think I've ever had one, and I'm maybe hairless most of my body, but you know, most people can rock a pretty cool beard. This is quite warm. Okay, I'm going to use the Kimchi concealer. This is Ivory. So we want that lift. So humans are probably one of the only few animals where the hair on the head is the most prominent, okay? There's some macaques and monkeys and primates that have the same head of hair and things like lions and stuff like that. A lot more animals do have facial hair, okay? Facial hair probably evolved in the beginning as whiskers, okay? And whiskers were something like a sensory organ, okay? So if you look under the microscope at whiskers, they're very, very super sensitive hair. So that's why some mice, okay, and cats can feel around with their whiskers. And as we evolve, this has become more of a signifier of sexual maturity. Actually, one of the biggest things that actually help hair develop in mammals is mate selection. Okay, we can talk about all sorts of evolutionary things, but you know, culturally, the way that females pick their male sometimes is through this, what we call mate selection, and hairs on the head and hairs on the face might suggest sexual fitness. Okay, going in with UOMA Beauty today. We don't need to go all the way down here because there's going to be a beard. Let's go in some of this white, lighten everything up. Okay, and the hairs on the face are what we call androgen dependent. Okay, androgen's a male sex hormone. Okay, and that's why you only start growing beards during puberty. When the male sex hormone increases, you start growing on your face, your armpits, your groin. This is what we call secondary sexual characteristics. Super skinny nose today. I want to try some of this Kimchi Glam Tears. The last time I tried this over my face, it took off the foundation, so I'm going to put it before I powder. Maybe this color isn't a bit too dark for me, but we'll try to lighten it up later. I'm going to be accused of something. Okay, so I'm going in with some Super White and RCMA mix. Okay, and I want this lift. The eyebrows are going to go right up there today. Okay, and COTY AIRSPUN in Translucent. This is a little bit of reflect in it, so it should lighten things up. So how much hair someone is able to grow on their face is actually quite genetically determined as well. It usually doesn't even correlate with hair you can grow in your groin or in your armpits, okay? It seems to be completely different. And you know, as men bald, their hairs on their face, okay? Sometimes the nose, the ears, sometimes grows thicker. So it's the hairs on the head sometimes responds completely differently to the hairs on the face, you know? In response to hormones. So it's very, very strange how that happens. I'm not sure we understand exactly why. And sometimes, you know, men who are completely bald here have amazing beards. Okay, looking a bit grey. Let's just push on and see whether we can fix this. Mistakes in real time. Oof. Okay, let's put these face tapes on. Now I want to just try to put in some color back in the face. So I'm just going to use a very light bronzer. So MORPHE in Megastar, and a big fluffy brush, not too much. Knock off some of the excess. And I'm just going to brighten up everything with Sugar Potato. Better. So what kind of dermatology problems do come up with the beard? So of course, very common folliculitis. Okay, it's very common in people with very thick, coarse beards, especially in darker skinned individuals like black people. Okay, you can get pimples and folliculitis in the beard. That can be quite distressing. Okay, very commonly sometimes we get alopecia areata, which is a form of alopecia of the beard. It's an autoimmune attack, and sometimes when you see men with very patchy beards, so big holes of no hair, that's alopecia areata. Okay, that one might need some injections of corticosteroids or special treatments. Okay, today I'm going to be using my new Beauty Bay Book of Magic palette. There are a lot of nice blues in here and a gorgeous black that I'm going to be using. Okay, I'm going to map out my brows first with a black Makeup Forever pencil. So this is a very arched brow. Put some in there. Okay, remember, we want everything to be snatched upwards, and we want the eyebrows to funnel into that nose contour. Super arched though, almost a divine kind of arch. Like antenna, a bit mantis-like. I'm going to give myself a nice base for the eyes. So I'm going to go into my P. Louise in Rumor Zero to give myself a nice white base for the eyes. Actually, I'm going to mix in some of the P. Louise in Bangin Blue. This gives a nice light blue base, okay? And now let's go in with the Book of Magic Cursed, okay? This dark navy to deepen up the corners of the eye. Yeah, gorgeous. It's really nice. Other conditions that can be seen in facial hair include things like hirsutism or hypertrichosis. Okay, these two words basically mean too much hair, but they mean things very differently. So hirsutism basically means you have too much hair where you're supposed to have hair. So for example, in a bearded lady, okay, a bearded lady in a circus has hirsutism because she has, you know, a beard. You know, women aren't supposed to have as much hair there, so when it happens, it's called hirsutism, and it's usually a hormonal thing. Hypertrichosis is actually when you have too much hair where you're not supposed to have hair. So for example, in a circus, if you're using that analogy, the wolf boy, okay, where you have hairs growing on your cheeks or in your forehead and stuff like that, that's called hypertrichosis. Okay, and those are aberrant facial hairs. Okay, I'm going to try to get this really snatched look. Okay, everything is going towards that point there, see? And also in the corner. Try to get a brush. I know I use a Real Techniques one, but this is bigger, so it's a bit easier. Fits right in there. Just been doing a lot of spotlight eyes recently. I think it really suits my face. Okay, I'm going to blend all that out with Elixir, which is a lighter blue. Just going to clean up under the brow with some super white. Set that with super white. Okay, give that something to blend down into the blue. Okay, go back to the blue and blend that into the white. Okay, using my small Real Techniques brush, using that blue again, I'm going to bring that underneath. Okay, on both sides. Okay, so it's almost like brackets. So very severe. Okay, I'm just going to blend that out a little bit more. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've blended it up and added some black in there to really give it some dimension and cut the crease. And I'm going in with one of the best blue shimmers I know, and that's in the James Charles palette. A shade called Hello. Okay, I'm gonna pop that right in there. Blend that into the blue. Okay, so facial hair, of course, goes through fashions as well. During the 1800s, they had these very mutton chop beards and mutton chop sideburns during the Civil War. During the Great Depression and the 1920s and 30s, they started having very thin moustaches. Okay, so for example, Clark Gable had his very thin moustache. Yeah, and in the 40s and 50s, during the Mad Men era, companies were starting to find ways to sell you more stuff, and that's how they came up with this clean-shaven look. So men were encouraged to shave so they could sell you more aftershave, shaving cream, razors, and stuff like that. Okay, and that's around the same time when people started making halitosis a thing, remember? They started to make up conditions to make people insecure about their body so they spend more on consumer care. Okay, let's leave those eyes for now. There's going to be a red hair and a red beard, so I want a bit of a warmer contour. In the 50s and 60s, just before the Summer of Love and jazz started coming into the picture, at least the African Americans around that time started rocking things like goatees and soul patches, right? And those trickled into the majority around the Summer of Love. And then when you came to the 80s again, the clean-shaven look was back in, okay? Because of Wall Street and all these yuppies and people trying to make a lot of money, they tended to favor the clean-shaven look. And now we're back in the fashion of having this scruffy look, okay? This lumbersexual scruffy look, which I find quite cute, but I can't do it. And that's why I invented Snatch Wonder. Sound off in the comment below if you miss Snatch Wonder, if you see him back soon. Using Watermelon from Kimchi for the blush. Okay, Madame Madness. Her makeup is really intricate and really intense, okay? Even on Drag Race Holland, Nikki Tutorials said that she's such a huge fan. And her makeup is really, really good. But you know, when the cast was announced for Drag Race Holland, there was a bit of controversy, especially with some queens thinking that bearded queens were a bit of a cop-out. This was Nina Benina Brown. She actually mentioned in her channel that she didn't think that bearded queens were all that because she thought that not shaving the beard was actually a way to stay in touch with their masculinity. They weren't willing to give up all their masculinity to do drag. And she thinks that drag, doing the female illusion, you need to get rid of the beard. And if you wanted to keep your beard just because you wanted to keep dating or wanted to keep, you know, hooking up with men who might not like to hook up with drag queens, she thought that was a cop-out. Of course, she got dragged on the internet by Lucy Stool, another bearded drag queen from Chicago. Even on the show, I mean, this was brought up by several of the contestants. Janie Jacquet actually said that Madame Madness was just lazy. And the minute Madame Madness shaved the beard off, she was sent home. But, you know, her makeup is really, really nice. So today I'm going to try to do her makeup, okay, with her Queen of Hearts moustache. Okay, I've got this artist color pencil in full red. So there's going to be a heart-shaped lip. So the beard will start here. She has this W kind of thing going. Okay, I want this to follow my contour a little bit more. And the hearts. Okay, sorry about that. My camera cut out, but gone in and drawn my heart-shaped lip. Now I'm going to use my SUVA Beauty Cherry Bomb to paint on the facial hair. Okay, so of course Madame Madness isn't the first bearded queen there is. Matthew Anderson, who came up with RuPaul's makeup, always rocked a beard when he did drag, and he always looked impeccable and amazing. And I mentioned before Diana Fire from Camp Wanakiki, and of course there was Conchita Wurst from Eurovision, and then he went on to host Germany's drag competition Queen of Drags with Heidi Klum. I get those edges first. Of course, I mentioned Lucy Stool before. I think Lucy Stool might be turning up on Drag Race pretty soon. I mean, even on Drag Race in season 6, when Milk came onto the stage with a bearded look, it was quite controversial at the time. And all the queens were dragging her for it. But she did start a trend because the very next season, in season 7, they had a whole bearded lady challenge. It's not easy. You gotta be so precise with the placement. You gotta make it look at least symmetrical. This has to go all the way down here. Okay, we're almost done. And so we're going to draw in these hard mustaches. This is almost like a handlebar. Handlebar. Oh! Damn it! Good thing I didn't get in this shirt. Alright, so I'm just going to put in some finishing touches, some lenses, lashes, and then be back with the finished look. And this is the finished look. Organza bearded realness. Ooh. This is one of the first things I ever bought for drag. This huge organza robe. It's one of the first outfits I ever performed in and at my friend's Way's birthday party. And I hope you like my bearded lady look for Movember. And if you want to see more videos like this, I've got plans for this channel. I want to do more interviews with local drag queens. Leave down in the comments below which drag queens you want to see me interview on this channel. Okay, and if that's something you want to see, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and ring that post notifications bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video like this. Alright, I'll see you next time. Bye. Check out my snatching videos if you haven't already. I did an interview with Farrah Shamrock and I did a pumpkin face tutorial here. Bye.